Hey, welcome back, guys. So in the last video we talked about data types, and we saw the most common data types we'll be working with in JavaScript and what they mean. So now we want to talk about operators. So operators in JavaScript are special symbols that you would use to perform operation on data or on values. So there are different classes of operators or categories of operators that we're going to look at. So let's list them here. So we have the arithmetic operators. We have the comparison operators. We have the logical operators. We have assignment operators. We have arithmetic, comparison, logical, assignment. You know what? Let me remove the word operators. Okay, arithmetic, comparison, logical, assignment. There is the type operators. Okay, so yeah, we can start with this. So let's take arithmetic operators first. So these are basically operators that are related to math, and there are things like addition. Actually, let's use this. Addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, and modulus. So these are things I'm sure most of you are familiar with, maybe except the modulus, but the arithmetic operator of plus is just used to add values. Minus is the same thing. Division is the same thing. Multiplication, the same thing. Modulus, and this is the one that you've probably not met, but basically it is the remainder after division, right? So that's modulus. So for instance, let's say we have for addition, of course, let's say you have 5 plus 5, it's gonna give you 9. 5 plus 4, it's gonna give you 9. You know what, so I'm gonna do console.log here. Console.log. Okay, so for the addition, so let's say we have 5 plus 4, and then we save. So let's take a look. You see it gives us 9. So if you look at our console, it gives us 9, and this 9 is coming from index.js file line 16, which is this. Okay, so for minus, just change this to minus. It should give us 1, as you can see. And then for division, so let's say we do 20 divided by 4, it gives us 5. You can see that, just the way division works. Let's change this to multiplication. So 20 multiplied by 4, that gives us 80. Pretty much the same way it works. So what about we do 20 divided, this is / represent division by / divided by 6. Okay, so um oh actually, let's say 20 divided by 4, yeah, it gives us 5. So the division gives us 5. um what about the modulus part? Let's see. So if we do 20 modulus 4, it gives us 0, and that is because when 4 divides 20, the answer is 5 and there is no remainder. So if I had said 20 modulus 6, that is saying what would be the remainder when 6 divides 20? That should give us 2. Yeah, so 6 divides 20 is gonna be 3, 3 remainder 2. So 20 modulus 6 is 2. The remainder after division, that's what modulus gives us. Okay, so that's it on arithmetic operators. Now let's talk about assignment operators. So assignment, assignment operators. So basically, remember when I said, when we were looking at variables, when I said this guy here is not an equality sign, it is an assignment operator. So assignment operator basically are symbols that you use to assign values to a variable. So the most common assignment operator we know is this guy. Okay, that's this guy. So this is an assignment operator. For instance, if we say const, okay, const full name, and then we say, put it in a string, we say Maxwell John. Okay, and then I do console.log full name. So what I expect to get is Maxwell John, and that is what I got. And so what I've done is I've taken this string, this sequence of character string, and I assigned it as a value to the variable full name. Okay, so that is assignment operator. Now sometimes when you're dealing with numbers, so we say, let's say const age, and then so I already have age declared here, that's why it's getting that error. So let's say age is 35. Okay, now you know what, let me use let here. Okay, so I can say something like age equal age plus 5. What do you think this is going to give us? So I'm going to console log age here. So take a look at this carefully. So I said let age, and I assigned 35 to it, and then I reassigned a different value to the same variable age, but this time around the new value I'm assigning is the current value of age, and then I added 5 to it. That becomes a new value. So if I log this to the console, what do you think it should give me? Let's take a look. If you guess 40, then you are correct. So because think about it, currently age is 35, so I wanted to assign a new value to age. That new value I'm assigning depends on the current value, so I just add 5 to the current value, and I reassign the sum to age, right? No, so doing something like this, rather than doing this, which is quite long, I might as well just do age plus equal 5. Okay, and it gives me the same thing. So what I've done is I added and I assigned at the same time, right? So I added 5 to the current value of age and I assigned the sum as the new value to age. So this is the short form of what we had earlier. Okay, so the same thing also applies to minus, as you can see. Okay, so you remove 5 from 35 and assign it to age, and that gives us 30. And that can also be applied to the rest of the other operators. For instance, you could do this for division. Okay, so what just happened here? Okay, so you can see dividing age by, let me expand this a bit. So this is going to be age divided by 5. Okay, so you can see just divide by 5 and add, and that gives us, of course, if you divide age by 30 by if you divide 35 by 5, you're going to get 7. Okay, so this is it. It's the same thing as doing this. Divide equal to 5. Okay, so it's the same thing. Okay, so yeah, these are all assignment operators. So you basically perform an operation and then you assign the result of the operation as the new value of the variable. Okay, so but if this short form confuses you, just stick to the normal form, where you just do your age and then age, then whatever operation you want to perform, and then the number you want to perform it on. So it's still going to be the same thing, just in case you see the contracted form in some code base so that you can understand what it's about. Okay, so that's it on assignment operators. Now let's talk about, actually let's place it in the order that we are discussing them. So after arithmetic operators, we have assignment operator, and then let's talk about comparison operators. So we use comparison operators to compare values. Okay, so comparison operators, so easy to compare values. So first of all, the first thing we want to talk about when we talk about comparison is equality. Now, remember I said this is not an equality sign, it is an assignment operator. So how do we do equality? How do we say something is equal to something? So it turns out that in JavaScript, there are two ways to express equality. Now, there is this double equal sign, there is this triple equal sign. Now when you use this on what you are saying is whether or not what is on the left hand side is equal to what is on the right hand side. For instance, if I said I'm going to uncomment this. Okay, so say age So what this is a statement. So what this is saying is, think of it as asking a question. So it's like it's saying, is age equal 23? So this is the real equality sign. Okay, so it's saying, is age equal 23? And if you log this to the console, you're going to get a boolean. You're going to get a boolean, so it's going to be true if the statement is true. For instance, here we know that age is 23, so yes, age is equal to 23. So this is going to return, or this is going to, yeah, this is going to give you a boolean. So what we are going to do is we are going to put this inside a console statement. So we'll say console.log. I just used short form to do console.log. Just type CLG and click tab. Okay, so if you look at this, it says true, and that is true because we know that age is equal to 23. So but what if we change this to say 35? Age is not 35, age is 23, so this is going to be false. So you see, it says false. Now that is for the triple equal sign. What about the double equal sign? Let me change this to double equal sign, and then I get false. Now the difference between this and this is that the single equal sign, or sorry, the double equal sign compares the value, not the type. Okay, so there is this strange thing in JavaScript where when you are dealing with numbers, sometimes JavaScript confuses strings and numbers. Let me explain what I mean. So look at this. If I say age and I assign 23 inside a string, now typically this is a string, right? Because it's inside quotes, so anything inside the quote is usually string. But just that what I put inside the quotes are numbers, but the fact that they're inside the quote makes them a string, right? So now if I do 23, so I'm trying to say is age equal to 23. Remember, this is a number while this is a string, right? Okay, so let's see what it gives us. It says true. Now the reason it says true is because the double equal sign compares the value, not the type. So it says 23 and 23, they are the same because actually 23 and 23 are the same, but the problem is this 23 here is a string, is represented as a string. So if you are using this, you're going to make a mistake because ordinarily this should be false because these two are not the same. There may be the same value 23, but they're obviously not the same data type. So the double equal sign does not compare the type, it only compares the value. But let's see what happens if we put this and make it a triple equal sign and check again, and then we're gonna get false. Yeah, and that is what it should be because 23 as a number and 23 as a string are not equal, so they shouldn't be equal. Hopefully that makes sense. So always when you are expressing equality in JavaScript, always use the triple equal sign, not the double equal sign, because the double equal sign will only compare the values, not the type. And when you want to do equality, you want to compare both the value and the type, and this is the one that does that. Okay, so yeah, that's the equality sign or the equality operator. Now we also have the inequality operators, so things like less than or equal to, we have greater than, we have greater than or equal to. So less than, so less than 50. Okay, so is age less than 50? So age is, I'm going to take this back to a number, so take this back. Age is 23 and 23 is less than 50, so this is going to say true. So let's check that out. So we say it says true, but if we say age greater than 50, 23 is not greater than 50, so this is going to be false. Okay, what again? So say greater than or equal to, of course it is not greater than, and it's definitely not equal to. You can see it's still false. But the moment we make this 23, we know it is not greater than 23, it is equal to 23. So this is saying greater than or equal to, so this should be true. You see, so the same thing applies with less than or equal to. So we could say less than or equal to 23, and that is true. Okay, so that is it. Comparison operators. So let's talk about logical operators. You know what, before we talk about logical operators, let's talk about the type operator. Now, the type operator is what allows you to determine the type, data type of a particular value. So, and this is how it works. So you just say type of, and then you put the value you want to check for the type. So for instance, you can say type of, and then say age. Yeah, so age, you want to check the type of the data type of the value assigned to the variable age. Okay, so if you do that, you just use the type of operator, and it says number, so we know that age is a number. So what if we change this to string like we did earlier? Or actually, we don't have to do that. We just have to use a variable here that we know is a string, and then we save. So we get this. Just a moment. Okay, so this, we want to check type of first name. Of course, we know this is first name. What do you think it should be? String. Cool. So what if we do this? So let's say const is adult. I'll say, of course, 23 is an adult. So we'll say true. Now I want to check the type of the variable is adult, and it should give us boolean. Okay, so because the value is true, so booleans are true or false. All right, so that's the type of operator. And finally, let's talk about the logical operator, and this is the big one. And logical operator are often used together with the comparison operator to, you know, build logic in our code. And for the logical operators, we have so for the logical operators, we have the logical and we have the logical or, and then we have the not. Actually, there's something we missed here. So we could have not equal to, right? So we can, you know, we have equal to, we have less than, we have greater than, we can have not equal to. Okay. So this just says that one is not equal to another. Okay. So let's see how the logical and works. So let's go back to our console statement. Now I can say okay, so I can say first name. Now when we use the AND operator, we are trying to compare we are trying to compare that what is on the right hand side of the AND operator and what is on the left hand side of the AND operator. They have to both be true for that operator, for the AND operator to return true. So let's say, for instance, I said here is adult and is adult and gender is male. Actually, let me put gender here, and I'm gonna say male, and I save it. Now what this means is adult needs to be true and gender equal to male also has to be true, right? If both of these are true, then this statement is going to return true. And if we check this, we see it is true because the statement on the left hand side, which is adult, is actually true, and the statement on the right hand side, which is the fact that gender is equal to the string male, is also true. So the whole thing returns true. If I change this to female, for instance, and I save, now the left hand side is true, but the right hand side is not true because gender is not female. Gender is actually male. So this is going to return false. So for the AND operator to return true, the two operands has to be true. Now if for the OR operator, like this, that's the second logical operator. For the OR operator, the only thing you need is for one of them to be true. The moment one of them is true, the OR operator will return true. Okay, we'll save this and we'll see it is true because this on the left is true, even though the one on the right is not true. It still returns true because all we just need is for one of the conditions to be true. Okay, so but if none of them is true, for instance, if I change this to false, so if I change this adult to false and leave this as it is, this is going to return false because both of them are false. Okay, so neither of them is true, so the OR operator is not going to return true. Hopefully that makes sense. So for this NOT operator, so what this does is it takes what is true and makes it false, and it takes what is false and makes it true. So for instance, if we say not is adult, now we know that is adult is false. The moment we put this operator here, we change it to the opposite, so which is true. So basically it takes a Boolean value and returns the opposite. Okay, that's what it does. We can also use it to say not equal to. So for instance, if you say age not equal to 50, now this is going to return true because we know that age is 23, which is obviously not 50. So age not equal to 50 is going to return true. As you see here, it says true. And then if we say age 50, it's going to return false because age is not 50. Okay, so that is what the NOT operator does. So you can use that to check if a particular value is not equal to another value. It says if what is on the left hand side is not equal to what is on the right hand side. Okay, just the opposite of the equality operator. Equality checks if they are equal. The NOT operator checks if they are not equal. Okay, I think that's it about operators. And this is, like I said, the logical operators especially are often used together with the comparison operator to compare things. For instance, I could say age less than 18 and gender equal male. So what do you think this is going to evaluate to? You need to check first of all the individual expressions on the both sides of the logical operator. Now you need to know what this value evaluates to. Age less than 18, is that true or is that false? First of all, we know that age is 23, so it is 23 is not less than 18. So the expression on the left is going to evaluate to false. Now, gender says male. Okay, so but here it says, yeah, gender is male. So the expression on the right is going to evaluate to true. Now, this whole expression, what is it going to evaluate to? Because one of them is false, they are all, the entire thing is going to evaluate to false because we're using the AND operator, which requires that both expressions must evaluate to true for it to be true. Okay, so you can see we are using a combination of the comparison operators and logical operators to build a logic. And in the next video where we talk about conditional statements, you're going to see how our code can use this to make decision and really be smart. This is at the heart of programming, really, because this is how we express logic and this is how we make our code truly smart, make smart decisions. Okay, so yeah, that's it on operators, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Drop a comment, drop a question if you have any question, or just drop a comment. Let me know what you think.